Hey everyone, welcome back to the Art of Save Scumming. Quick video today. We're talking about Kislev yet again. I swear we're going to change topics here pretty soon, but I have an update. A few days ago, I made a video on Mother Ostankya and how you ought to jump over to Kislev on turn 2 because there's so many benefits to it. And I now would like to retract that statement and tell you that you should stay over here and consolidate your initial provinces because there's so much benefit over here that you're missing if you don't stay over here and you just bypass it for Kislev. So to start out with, the major concern with any Kislev campaign is who dies. And the two people that are most likely to get wiped out are Boris and Mother Ostankya. Well, you're playing as Mother Ostankya, so she's not gonna get wiped out, but Boris might. Well, you can see over here on turn 18, I have made contact with Boris with an agent, and I am nowhere close to confederating him. He's doing just fine. So I can start those relations with him, get that moving, and that will precipitate itself. That is my track back to Kislev pretty easily. There are other ways to get there. You can jump through the quote-unquote, you know, whatever you want to call it. I forget what they call it on this one. It's the... no, it's not that one. It's this one over here. The Jinx Land allows you to jump back through a magical forest, which you got one right there. But if you look at her initial provinces in this region that will ultimately be uncontested, you might have to take out like Torox or somebody like that, but your starting province, 4 settlements. Your second province that you're going to take, 4 settlements. The third province that you can take, 4 settlements. The next province will only have 2 settlements, but the one after that will have 4 settlements in it. And if you want to keep on pushing, you can. 4 settlements. I don't suggest taking this one, though, because that'll bring you in conflict with Malekith. But if you look at all those, in addition to all of that space, you also have all of these resource buildings. And remember that the first resource tier is 500, the next one's 1,000, and the one above that is 2,000. That's 4,000 to build all of those, and they give you various benefits, but that's a chunk of change. But if you go into your orthodoxy panel, the very first thing you ought to do on turn 5 is get Endless March. Your first 2 points, put them right into orthodoxy, get that 10% campaign movement range. Then after you get your next 2 points, you go over here to Dominion, and you get the land provides, and that makes those resource buildings have no construction costs. So if we count them really quick, in just those 5 provinces there, we have 2 resources in this province. We have 2 resources, one there and one there, 2 resources. 2 resources here and here, and then up here, 2 resources there and there. And those resources are important for a couple reasons. They give you a lot of money, but they also, if you look in here, they give you training for your admin. So an admin stationed in here gets 600 experience per turn just by sitting in this province, and that is all 4 of those provinces have 2 resources. On top of that, that is, according to my public education math, 36,000 gold that you do not have to spend to gain income. So 8 times 2 is 16. So that's 1,600 for every single turn that you're generating that you did not pay any construction cost on. So that is basically an army. It's a trashy army, but that is an army that is covered by just those resource buildings. So that easily covers, just with the resource buildings, up to tier 3, easily covers an army to stay over here and continue to screw around with whatever problems that you have over on this side while you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with over in Kislev. So well worth hanging out over in this area if you want to do that. And then you just confederate yourself into Kislev, and you're off to the races, just like you would have if you jumped over there on turn 2. But now you're going to have so much more territory it's going to be easier to get those confederations, because that's one of the things that weighs into your confederations is what your strength ranking looks like. And right now, I've got a strength ranking of 62, but all of these provinces were recently consolidated. So after I build up some of these and add some armies, it's going to be considerably easier to get confederations once somebody gets smashed up, because by the time you get over there, people are going to be in their wars. Because, like, if you look at these provinces, they're empty, right? I basically ran through these provinces rather rapidly to just get them and didn't put a whole lot into them. And now any money that I get from rampaging either here or through the Chaos Wastes is going to go towards building up those provinces. And that is going to be big money makers.
Defender of Kislev! Warrior and leader!
So if you've done a lot of Kislev lately and you're considering not going back to Kislev immediately and wanting a little bit different feel, look at this. I mean, your southern border is handled. You could hop over here and play with Noctilus and the Dark Elves over here if you wanted to. You could continue north, but having that fragmented empire is, I think, going to be okay, because really you've already got a southern border in Hexawaddle. You're going to be friendly with those guys. They're not going to bother you all that much. You just really, it's the world is your oyster on how far up here you want to push. Alithanar is doing well in this campaign over here, so he's probably going to be fine. He'll be my basically eastern border. And then as far north as I want to go, I can basically break it off at any point and just start trading regions to any of these factions up here that I want to be my border with Malekith. So highly suggested. I think that, and I've had a lot of fun in this campaign because I had forgotten how easy this is in the early stages, because you're running full missile armies. I mean, you're basically running Kossars, maybe a few, meat grinder units up there, Kossars with some Akshina ambushers backing them up. And man, I tell you what, you just shred the Dark Elves because you outrange them so heavily. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. Definitely recheck Mother Ostankya. If you've been doing the jump back to Kislev thing, go back, look at her campaign again on this side of things. And I mean, you get to fix all the corruption in the areas anyway. Have a great time. Art of Safe Scumming out.